Collins, and your whole team, please come up together. And that's it, going into the calendar.
Good afternoon, Presiding Officer Gonzalez, Minority Leader Abrahams, and the entire legislature membership. My name is Scott Tusa, I'm the Chief Fire Marshal for Nassau County. I'm here representing my office, along with the 71 fire departments. And with me I have Chairman of the Fire Commission, Dennis Collins, who's on this side. Secretary of the Nassau County Fire Commission, John Henning, and Assistant Chief Fire Marshal, John Priest. I'm here to speak on behalf of the police ambulance purchase. I am not here to speak on behalf of Commissioner Crumpton or the police department. They certainly don't need me as a mouthpiece for them. But the purchase of police ambulances, or the lack thereof, has begun affecting the fire service and my department. Due to mechanical failure and breakdown, frequently the police department is unable to field the amount of ambulances or supply their posts with the normal number of ambulances. When that occurs, the overflow of calls goes out to the fire service, who is already a tax agency. Even though there's 71 departments, they're already taxed fighting fire and auto accidents and other forms of emergencies. The fire service actually has asked and is looking for additional ambulance posts to be created to lessen their burden of ambulance calls that they go on. So again, the lack of serviceable ambulances is adversely affecting our fire service. The second point that I wanted to make, make you aware of, is among the many services that my department provides, we provide support service to the 71 volunteer fire departments. One of those services that we provide is a emergency incident rehabilitation unit. In the event of large-scale incidents, fires, other types of emergencies, we have a unit that responds to the scene. It provides on-scene rehabilitation, which consists of temperature regulation, whether it's depending on the outside temperatures, whether it's providing a heated tent area, air-conditioned area to help regulate firefighter and other emergency workers, not just for firefighters, it's also for EMS, police. If the incident is large enough, it could involve DPW workers, it could involve rehabbing health department workers. So when this unit rolls out, we provide the temperature-controlled atmosphere to either warm or cool an individual. We hydrate with water and Gatorade type substances. We nourish with protein bars, and this is all part of what the U.S. Fire Administration has described as emergency incident on-scene rehabilitation. In addition to those things, I consider that one half of the rehabilitation. The other half of the rehabilitation is medical monitoring. When we were able to produce this unit for the fire service, it was a few years ago. We took a surplus unit from our fleet, we repurposed it for this rehab use, and when I looked at the standards, in the standard it says that the highest level of emergency care should be provided near the command post. My staff is trained to EMT level, which is a basic life support level. With that in mind, I spoke to Commissioner Crumpton. Commissioner Crumpton, we had a meeting, sat down, and he understood the need for a higher level of care. Because in rehabilitation, what we're looking to do is reduce the on-scene and after incident rate of fatal heart attacks. Studies have shown, and it's all part of this. This is for the legislature to review if you wish. There's studies that have shown on-scene rehabilitation greatly reduces the incident.
Sir, your 3 minutes has expired.
Greatly reduces the incident fatal on-scene and after-incident heart attacks in emergency workers. We've had one occasion already that our rehab unit, the police department was unable to assist us and give us their higher level of care. That they man their ambulances with EMTCCs and EMTPs, which are both advanced life support training. We've had one incident where the police department was unable to assist. They didn't have enough ambulances available. Luckily, nothing serious happened, and the fire department that we were assisting were able to provide us with a CC. So, again, I'm not here to speak on behalf of Commissioner Crumpter or the police department. They're a much larger agency than I am, but what I am here is to ask for the much-needed purchasing of ambulances so that we can provide our fire departments with the support that they need. Thank you.
If I can, Madam Presiding Officer.
Okay, legislator vote.
Yeah, Chief Tusa, I appreciate the fact that I have a little bronchitis. I appreciate the fact that you're coming down today to bring attention to this issue and just to illustrate a point that you were making. As many of you know, I'm in the Wantagh Fire Department, one of the 71 departments throughout Nassau County. And on my phone, I receive, every time the Wantagh Fire Department gets an alarm, I receive a notification on the phone which lists what type of alarm it is, time the alarm comes in, where the alarm is located, what type of call we're responding to. And in just scrolling down over the last 48 hours, every time you receive a call that's listed Mutual Aid Nassau County Police Department, that is an alarm which came through our 911 system that the police department did not have an available ambulance to respond to. And much as you said, that call then bounces down to the fire department for us to actually respond. In just the last 48 hours alone, we have responded, just one department out of 71, we have responded to 5 rescue calls, including a rescue call at the 7th precinct, and including 2 more rescue calls that have come in since we've been sitting here today at this meeting. This is a pressing issue, and without the additional police ambulances, we are delaying a response by having a second set of hands, because obviously when the alarm comes in through 911, they initially determine that an ambulance isn't available, and only then does the fire department get notified of the call. But we are also putting an additional extraordinary burden on our volunteers, exposing them to the risks of responding to an emergency, forcing them to get out of their homes, to leave their jobs, to leave their families, to go out and take care of business that the Nassau County Police Department, if they had the proper equipment, should be taken care of. So there is no question in my mind, and I see firsthand evidence in just one of the 71 departments, that we need these ambulances, and that this very much is a public safety issue. And for the longer that we permit it to continue, it means that we as a legislature are not doing our job. So I appreciate the fact that you came in today, and I believe that we have an item of business on our agenda that if it passes, would rectify that situation. Let's see if it'll pass. Thank you.
Commissioner Tusa, thank you very much for bringing this to our attention from over here. I know that. Oh, thank you, Presiding Officer. I share your sentiments, Stephen, like bringing this to light, even just with the Wantagh Fire Department, how many calls and the urgency for having ambulances that are working and being able to respond to any type of emergency throughout Nassau County. I know that prior to Memorial Day weekend, there was a problem with many of the ambulances in Nassau County. And a directive was sent out to all of our fire departments alerting them, that if they were counting on a police ambulance to be their backup, they may not be there, and that you were taking into consideration that fact by working with local hospitals or other type of ambulance companies that may be able to fill that void. This is something that, people come to expect, to be able to have an ambulance respond in a timely manner. So I think that it's very, very important for the safety of residents and visitors as well to Nassau County, that we make sure that we have the necessary number of ambulances in service, and that we have them in good working order, and they're being able to respond. Even if we had 1 or 2 extra just sitting around doing nothing, it's better than having too few. So I'm hoping that in the matter of public safety and care and concern for the many residents who live here, that this item does get passed and we get the capital money so that we can fund these. Thank you.
Can I say one thing?
Yes?
Yes, just for your...
Mr. Collins?
State your name. Yes.
State your name.
I'm Commissioner Collins, I represent the 700 departments. Just for your information, the last 5 months, we did 5,300 calls. It's ambulance calls per month. We do 3,000, we average 3,000 a month. That's come down to us. So you're taking wear and tear out of the volunteer fire service. Now, like my department, I'm a small department, I want to look at it. We did 7 calls yesterday. 7. So where is area ambulances is breaking it down, that has to pass. It's just too much for us paying. The volunteer fire can't do it. You're wearing them out.
Thank you.
Mr. Guarneri?
Chloe? Thank you. I'm Ron Guerreri, Executive Vice President of CSEA Local 830. I'm also a 42-year member of the East Meadow Fire Department. I'm also a 36-year member of the Nassau County Police Department. I come from the ambulance division. Just wanted to back up what Jimmy Carver was saying about the vests. My men all wear vests. They feel as security going in. We don't carry weapons. They are part of that committee, and it means a lot to them. And the same with the ambulances. It is also a committee. It is made up of members of the Department of Public Works, the ambulance division, the union, the Emergency Ambulance Bureau directors, and commissioners from the police department. So it is another committee which recommends to this county the purchasing of the ambulances. And also, just to let you know, prior to the Memorial Day weekend, there was between 10 and 20 ambulances out of service. And if it was only for the good graces of this administration, Chief Deputy Rob Walker, Commissioner Crumpter, and Commissioner Millett, that they opened up DPW for the weekend, they gave overtime, but we do not have the parts for the older ambulances. You just can't keep these ambulances on the road. So I'm talking to Democrats. Hello? Hello? Okay, just to let, hi guys. Okay, just to let you know, we need the ambulances. As Jimmy said before, please, pick a different fight. God forbid Orlando did not happen here, because we would not have been able to respond in a manner that is currently Nassau County Police Department standards. So please, I'm asking you guys, revisit this vote on ambulances, public safety. That's why you guys are up here, to make the tough choices. This is a tough choice. I know what's going on. I know what both sides need. But please, don't use bulletproof vests. Don't use ambulances. What happens if the police officers didn't have bullets? What would we be doing? Dancing in the aisles? Ooh, that is a real great topic. You can't do this, guys. We need ambulances. Just think about if we needed an ambulance to go to somebody's house up there and it wasn't available. We're sending one 4 towns over.
If I may, he's responding something to our caucus. I mean, Ron, I'm just talking in a hypothetical world. If we were willing to consider what you're talking about, would you be willing to join us? You see what's going on in this county. You see the contract process. You see what our district attorney has said about this process. We would encourage, whether it be the CSEA, the PBA, to at least take a position on whether or not you think procurement and public corruption occurs in this county. That's what we're advocating for. I mean, that's what it really comes down to. It's not politicized. I know what the other side is saying. There's no political agenda. We're not requesting anything of a nature that would give this caucus any particular benefit. This is going to benefit the taxpayers of this county. And it's not like I said before, this is not like pie in the sky stuff that we're just reaching and saying the county has this level of corruption that exists. It's been documented by people going to jail. So I will say this again. I would strongly encourage you, as well as the leadership of the CSEA. I mean, you're asking this legislative body to approve bonding for hundreds of millions of dollars, and we're not too sure that the procurement process that the district attorney has called a recipe for corruption. So you're asking us to engage and enable a process that our district attorney, our highest law enforcement official, is saying is a recipe for corruption. And NYFA. All these entities have indicated this process is flawed. But I'm asking you, because you're asking something on behalf of public safety, on behalf of the taxpayers of this county, and I respect you, and I've known you for quite some time, so I won't say that. Would you please consider taking a position on what is going on in this county, which impacts your members just as well? Impacts your members, maybe not from a public safety standpoint, but from a financial standpoint, if hundreds of millions of dollars is being bonded, and there's no independent overseer of that money. Thank you.
I understand what you're saying. As I stated earlier, the procurement of these ambulances go through a committee of different people. It's not left up to one person's part to just go out and say, I want this contractor, I want that contractor. And it's never the same person because they always, the chassis, one person doesn't have it. The type of ambulance we use now, they may not have it. So it's not the same person all the time. And the good thing about being number two, I can't commit to you. So I will bring it back to CSEA. But I'm imploring everybody up there, take the first step. Please, public safety. This will be a good signal to the unions, maybe, if you step up to the plate for vests and for the ambulance.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Ron.
you.
Thank you. And I hope your leg feels better.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, Dorothy Bade, where are you? Dorothy, you did not put in a slip, and I know you've been sitting there since early this morning. So I'm going to ask you to come on up with your colleagues and speak on the matter that you came here for. But the next time you come,
Madam, as I know,
excuse me.
I just want to make sure that I encourage Mrs. Spade to come and speak, that she has the right. I would stay here until 10 o'clock tonight for everybody to speak. But we do have people that put in a slip. Mr. Lopez, I believe, is here on behalf of the West Riding Union. That did put in a slip and would like to speak.
Hold on.
I'm just making sure he's on your agenda.
No, I'm sorry. The fact is that they were not advised as properly, excuse me. Otherwise, they were sitting here earlier. In fact, they were sitting here long before a lot of the others were here. So, Miss Dorothy, where are you?
I'm here.
Who's going to speak on your behalf?
Mr. Lou Levin will speak on our behalf.
Okay, that's fine. What is your name?
I'm Professor Lou Levitt.
I believe you did put in a slip.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right.
I thank you for this opportunity to address the legislature. I am a resident of the Amsterdam at Harborside, a not-for-profit life care community in Port Washington. I am here together with other residents to ask for your assistance in obtaining public bus service on a portion of West Shore Drive. Our proposal will add about 14 minutes to existing bus routes or less than 4 miles of additional bus travel. We have been in discussion with the executives of NICE. Their response was a polite boilerplate letter that I translate as a reiteration of their need to balance two conflicting goals, that of providing public service and maintaining sufficient profit to run their enterprise. We need your thumb on the scale in order to give added weight to the public service side of the equation. More than 70 businesses in the light industrial park on West Shore Road would benefit along with the Amsterdam from the proposed route addition. They would have access to prospective employees residing in areas served by the Long Island Railroad in the stations in Roslyn and Port Washington. The new Hilton Hotel, now being built in this area, would, like the Amsterdam, need maintenance, housekeeping, kitchen, and dining room staff. Ditto for the Harborview Golf Course. In addition, as our residents age in place, we need more opportunities for private aids. What we fail to understand is despite the stated interest and support of all of the public officials in the area, in both political parties, why this rather modest proposal has not gone forward. What puzzles us is the mix of village, town, county, state, federal funds, plus the money from additional ridership. Why this isn't enough to provide for this proposal. What concerns us is why a beautiful public park, the North Hempstead Beach Park, built and maintained by taxpayer dollars, is only available to people who can afford an automobile. Our residents believe in the importance of politics as the foundation of public service. Our election district has one of the highest percentages of eligible voters turning out. This is why we turn to you for support for this modest proposal
Sir, your time
for
has
bus
expired.
service on West Shore Road, and we look forward to your positive response and action. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Levitt. And for the record, Professor Levitt did put in a slip.
Norma, can I just add one quick thing?
One quick thing.
One quick thing is that there was a stop at this location that they're speaking of, and somehow it was cut, and I don't understand how they could say the usage was not there. With not only your facility, like you said, with all the other workers, with the aides, and also we need Able Ride in this area more than any other area probably in my district. So I really, you know, Michael Stutzer has spoken with them, but this is a big ask, but I really would love to see this. Plus, having Able Rides closer to the Helen Keller Institute would absolutely help with the deaf and blind people that we also need to help transport.
Yes, the Able Ride is limited to residences within 3/4 of a mile of a fixed bus route, which means the 300 seniors that live where we do, as well as another 200 seniors living half a block away, have no access to Able Ride because they're too far from the fixed bus route. So,
Thank you very much, and I'm sorry I had to wait so long, but I know there are others who will wait just as long. But we're going to move on to the calendar.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And again, we have at every legislative meeting a consent calendar, a calendar whereby the items on the calendar were voted unanimously in committees. And so I'm going to ask that the stenographer please incorporate the testimony from the committees into